find out if we got anything wrong so far. For that, we go to TV's Andy Levy. Hey, Andy.
Hey, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Excellent. Hey, I want to make it clear off the bat to all the kids watching at home. Penn was joking when he suggested that Pinch is some kind of puppet being manipulated by Bill.
I was joking.
Okay, all right.
You make little jokes sometimes.
Yeah, no. I mean, I got that, but I just people at home might.
You don't want to mislead people.
Exactly.
Pinch is as real as Greg.
Yep, because we'll get letters, Penn.
I know. The letters will talk.
Yes. Yes, they will.
Fuck this.
Disney to stop allowing ads for junk food during its kids programming. Greg, you referred to this as the Sugar Smack Smackdown?
Yes.
Of course, what we grew up with is Sugar Smacks, now Honey Smacks.
I know. Travesty.
Yeah.
Can't call it what it is anymore.
And apparently for a brief time in the 90s, they were just called Smacks.
Yes.
I'm not making, that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know that.
Smacks?
I discovered that, yeah.
Yes. Bill blames that for that weird habit he developed in the 90s.
My mom always gave me smacks.
Yeah.
Governor, I want to be clear about this. Did you backtrack from what was a pretty firm stance on a previous occasion when you were on this show, that forcing restaurants to list the calories of their foods is a good thing?
I totally backtracked. I was thinking of my legislation that I would have passed that would not have been onerous, that would have been educational, but I would have left office. My successor would have seen the great benefits, and then they would have gone to criminal penalties, and it would have become the largest bureaucracy in all of government, that being the calorie counting bureaucracy. I'm sorry. Yes, I backtracked.
All right. Excellent.
Wow, that's
guilty.
Good to hear.
I've never heard a politician say that.
Making some
so
news
cool.
tonight.
He's good.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. Remy, I agree with you, and Greg, I guess, that it might be hard for companies to say no to the First Lady, but like you, I also have no problem with it. I have no problem with Michelle Obama or any politician asking companies to do something voluntarily or using their bully pulpit to say, hey, people should eat, healthful foods.
I like it when you agree with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if Michelle Obama went to the place where you worked and convinced them to say you can't smoke anymore out in front of the Fox building and convinced them to say that, then how would you feel?
That's fine.
Is it?
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
believe you.
Why? As long as people aren't, as long as it doesn't get to the Bloombergian level of passing laws, then I'm all for it. I have
He's
no
willing to
problem
walk
with it.
around the corner to smoke. That's
Yes.
what he's saying.
Penn, you said you don't think changing the advertising will have any effect on obesity. That you said you don't watch TV and you're fat. But I guess we're talking about kids here, and
Yeah.
I guess the idea is this is to help parents, basically.
I guess so, but I think that parents should take care of their children and not the government. I don't think it takes a village to eat Sugar Smacks. Honey Smacks. Smacks.
Smacks. Yeah. Greg, you think Disney's going to lose money off of this? I guess I disagree. I think even if they lose some ad revenue in the short term, I think it's going to be good for their brand.
Oh, God, I'm so tired of hearing about the
I love that
brand.
phrase.
I'm
I
sick
love
of the
that
brand.
phrase.
Go on Celebrity Apprentice. You want to get sick of the word brand.
Yeah.
You'll puke
phrase.
brand.
Yeah, I love that phrase. And Remy, you said Disney's being a little hypocritical because they still serve all this crap food at their theme parks. But in fact, as the New York Times reports, along with the advertising thing, Disney also said today or yesterday that it's going to offer healthier foods. For instance, they're going to reduce sodium by 25% in the 12 million children's meals they serve every year.
You know what? I don't buy it. They might make some really minor changes. They're still going to sell funnel cakes and cotton candy.
Yeah,
and
they are.
The overpriced sodas.
I don't think they sell funnel cakes.
And I'm not sure if that's a bad thing, but don't hold yourself out as like some healthy brand and then make a killing on the back end when the kids come to the park.
I don't
On the
think there
other
are funnel
hand-
case at Disney. I'll go on record.
Yeah, I don't think there are.
I haven't been
Candy
to.
either.
There might be cotton candy during the parade.
I don't
Maybe
know.
over in that New Orleans area there's
Yeah.
funnel cakes. I could be wrong.
I haven't been to Disney World since I think I was about 4, and I don't plan on going. But
I was there a couple years ago, and I can distinctly not remember cotton candy.
I
or funnel
remember
cake.
that was-
looking for funnel cakes and not being able to find them.
Greg, if you recall, when we were there a couple of years ago, since then we haven't been allowed back.
Yeah. Well, we went during that special weekend, that
Yes.
weekend celebration.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot
Yep.
of rainbows.
Yeah.
It was sunny outside.
I guess so. And a little bit of rain in the air.
Yes.
Who knew Goofy was such a narc? Penn, you asked about putting extra sugar on Frosted Flakes. Do you ever pour like just a ton of sugar on your cereal so that when all the cereal is gone, you just have the, the sugar at the bottom and
the sugar mush with the milk.
the milk is so
Greatest
good.
thing in the world.
So good.
And I always wondered if I would ever, when I was a grown-up, I promised myself I would just put sugar in a bowl and put milk on it and eat it. And I didn't keep that promise to my 12-year-old self.
It's not too
Maybe
late.
tonight.
It's not too late.
Did you ever when you bought the little mini servings? Did you actually pour milk in the boxes?
I did once to see if it worked.
It doesn't work. Well, does it? It doesn't work.
You have to open it perfectly, too.
Yeah,
I guess
it's
now it's
true.
in little bowls or whatever.
Also, perforations with nail perforations don't ever work.
They never. That was
exactly.
a lie. That's an advertising lie. The little dotted line.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
never had a real indention there. It was all.
It didn't work.
Plus, even if you got through that indention, you had that
cellophane.
the papery cellophane.
Yeah, what was it? It was wax paper.
Yeah, which you could
Wax paper,
Yeah.
which you can't cut wax paper evenly with your
Nope.
thumbnail.
Nope.
Who could do that?
And you know what? Let's not even
Maybe Gary Johnson.
get me started on Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch, greatest cereal ever made, but always cutting the roof of your mouth.
Yeah, we know the Blue Man Group did a bit where they bit Captain Crunch in beat with the music with microphones up there, and I told them when I saw the show off Broadway, that's going to cut your gums up, and then you'll get infected, and then eventually you'll die. And they went ha 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 ha, and they called up and said we can't do the Captain Crunch thing anymore. It's cutting up our gums, and they're getting infected. Because Rastelli, one of the greatest jugglers of all time, used to catch yams thrown from the balcony onto the stage in a mouth stick in his mouth, and that's how he died. Little cuts on his gums, get infected, then you die. That's like falling out of the sky.
Whoa.
I have information too, you know, Andy.
You do.
And I'm not checking stuff. I'm doing it all up here.
I know, and quite frankly, it's a lot more interesting than the crap I come up with. Cuomo and decriminalizing pot. Remy, you favor decriminalizing drugs. Do you favor legalizing them or just decriminalizing?
Yeah, I do. I think it's going to be a long process. I don't think you can just snap your fingers and make it happen. But yes, I think regulate it, tax it, control it. Absolutely.
All right.
Or maybe make it legal and not tax it. Tax a lot less of everything.
I agree
that was
with that.
actually a question I had for Governor Johnson. Governor Johnson, you talked about Colorado, and the thing about legalizing it is people always say, well, you legalize it so then you can regulate it. But as a libertarian, shouldn't you want them to legalize it and not regulate it?
I agree with that completely, but I think there's a palatability that goes along with taxing it and regulating it. The notion that we're going to do this like alcohol. That's what's on the ballot. Regulate marijuana like alcohol. California, regulate marijuana like wine. I think that tells a whole story in and of itself, and it gives a palatability to potentially passing it.
That is a good point. Treat it like a winery. It's all of a sudden you go on winery tours, except you're high.
And you know, regulating could just simply mean keeping it away from children
kids.
that they're being
Yeah.
age of consent.
It's just like cigarettes. You got to be 18 years old. You pay $10 a pack. It's not easy to get cigarettes. It's
It is if you go out front of Fox when they're smoking.
Yes.
They'll bid them to anybody.
I won't give you one though.
If I had a weedery, I'd give them free samples, but charge them up the butt for the food. $1 million idea. $1 million idea. Weedery.
Just lastly, before I have to go, Greg, you said you don't believe in the Trojan horse that is medical marijuana. You should check. Reason had a really good piece on veterans who have been better able to deal with pain using marijuana than they were with using opiates and pain pills. I agree that a lot of people obviously take advantage of it and they're getting doctor's prescriptions when there's nothing wrong with them, but that doesn't mean it's not truly helpful for some people.
I think every substance can be truly helpful to every person, whether it's ecstasy or acid, you name it, it can be used. But I do think that the overwhelming wink that comes with medical marijuana is it's for my carpal tunnel syndrome. Might actually hurt these soldiers by making it into a joke.
All right, gotta go, Greg.
Well, really? Well, okay. Glad. Tired of you. Coming up, do you remember what you did when Jeffrey Dahmer finally got caught? Remy Spencer on her new book, I Cried for Months. You are a monster. But first, should cats and dogs be forced to wear seatbelts? We pick up where Special Report left off.